Okay, I hope you have had a chance to try all 7 problems, and I want to thank Mr. Offutt for giving us these situations so that we can solve these problems for him. Number 1, Mr. Offutt needs to buy some pens so he can try to solve math problems. A package of 10 ballpoint pens is regularly priced at $1.50, but lucky for Mr. Offutt, they go on sale for 20% off the current price. What will be the sale price of the package? And we're going to answer this so Mr. Offutt, hurting for money, will have enough money to take to the store. Well, the key to this, and as I do this, some of you are probably going to say, well, I know my own way to do it, and it may work, but I'm going to try to be consistent here and use proportions. And when I teach proportions with percents, the first thing I like to mention is that a percent is just simply a fraction that you take the number. If it's 20%, it's going to be 20 over 100. So that's a ratio. To make the proportion, you set it equal to the situation. And in these money type situations, the bottom is usually the original price, the price before you add any tax to it, the price before you subtract any discounts, and up at the top will be the price after the discount or after the tax, as long as you put the correct percentage here. So here's what makes discounts tricky. When you take 20% off of a price, you're actually paying the other 80%. So the best way to solve this problem is to not put 20 in the numerator, but to put 80 in the numerator. So you have 80 over 100, and then you'll go equals. Mr. Offutt's pens have a starting price of $1.50, and if you put X here, that's going to be the sales price. If you accidentally put 20 here, you're going to get how much he will save. And you could subtract that from the original price. That will work. The way that you solve proportions is you do cross products. Some of you call it cross multiplication. And you take these are called your means, these are called your extremes. 100 times X is 100X. And 80 times $1.50, most of you will probably want to use your calculator for that, but you could take 80 times 1 and get 80, and then for 50, that's half of 80, 40. Work that way, but 80 times $1.50 is 120. Divide by 100, and you will get X equals $1.20. Well, after he gets those pens, it looks like he needs to buy a new sweater vest, and he goes to the ever popular Marshalls and he finds one on sale. So this $17 is the sale price, and this price is 15% off of its original price. What is the original price of the vest? Well, if it's 15% off to get to 17, then that leaves 100 minus 15, which is 85. So it's going to be 85 over 100. Be very careful here. We're so used to putting that price on the bottom, but this is the price after the discount. So the 17 goes in the numerator, and your X is now in the denominator. But you still solve it the same way, but remember that when you do cross products here, that it will not be 100X, it's going to be 85X. And then 100 times 17 is 1,700. You divide both sides by 85. Sorry, my hand's in the way. And then I'm just going in the calculator real quick, and you get 20. So $20. Not the only way to do these problems, but it's a very consistent way. Now, number 3 and number 4, Mr. Offutt has some problems dealing with 2%, and the big mistake people make here is they want to try to combine these problems in an incorrect way. If you're struggling with these double percents, you can look at it that way, the best thing to do is to solve them one at a time. So if we start with the 115% of a number is, the 115% will be 115 over 100. Now some people like to do the is over of, but remember that the 100 refers to the original and this is the answer. The original is going to be of the number. That's why they sometimes say is over of. So the 460 will actually go in the numerator. And I'm not going to show all the work with this. You've got two examples above, but what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have 115x on one side, 100 times 460, and then divide that by 115. You should get 400. But that's not the final answer. But that's what you start with as an original number for the 75%. So then you go 75 over 100. This is what you start with, so it's on the bottom, and you have x, and then you can cross multiply, as some of you call that, and divide, and you should end up with an answer of 300. Now notice that when this is 115%, that's on top, it's actually bigger than the 400, but then when we go to 75, the bottom number, the denominator, is larger. Okay, so now Mr. Offutt strikes back at Mr. Vaughn for all the torture that Mr. Vaughn has given him, but this is very similar to number 3. You have an original price of $2, so the $2 is going to go on the bottom. The sale reduces the price by 25%. That means to get the new price, you use the 75. So 75 over 100, and now you have x over 2, and then when you do cross products and divide, you should get an answer of $1.50. Next thing he does, he takes that $1.50 as the original price when he ups the price. Now this is going to be a little tricky here, because when he ups the price by 10%, you're going to add the 10% to the 100. Here we've been subtracting. So when we add that 10%, we get 110, and then an x here. You do cross products, and then you divide again, and you should get an answer of $1.65. So it looks like Mr. Offutt's going to make a profit of 15 cents. Poor old Mr. Vaughn. Alright, we're back to the sweater vest. Well, we wish that he bought a new sweater vest, but unfortunately $17 was too much for him to pay, so he decided to wait. He waited into February, and it was discounted 10%, so that means the sale price would be 90%, so 90% over 100 equals x over 17. So you're going to get 100x on one side and 90 times 17, and then divide it by 100. And I'm going to have to use the calculator on this one. And it ends up being $15.30. Now that is the price that it is discounted to in February. In March, they still haven't sold that thing because he still thinks it's too expensive. And it goes another 20%. Now it's a 20% off of the $15.30. That means now we're at 80 because 100 minus 20 is 80. And you still do the x, and we have a 15.30. So again, cross products and divide. So you end up 80 times $15.30. You get 1,224. Divide that by 80, and you get 50. Oh, what did? Oh, sorry about that. You divide by 100. I should probably redo this video, but I'm lazy. Alright, so 80 times 15.30 and divide by 100, which I don't need the calculator for that, is $12.24. Well, he finally buys that sweater vest. We don't mention that, but he thinks that's a pretty good price, so he can use it for his tennis matches. But it doesn't seem to help him too much, but it may have helped him win 4 matches. And that's going to help you solve this next problem. It says the ratio. Now on the ACT, most of the time when it's a ratio, they end up using a colon. And if you didn't know that, it may have helped to look at the next problem, because here's a ratio and it's got a colon in it. Now this is really called an extended ratio, but you could still maybe figure that out. But you have to go in the order that it's written. So if he loses 36 of them, then you have 36. That means he, of course, won 4 of them. Now, even though it's not written as a fraction, you have to simplify it like a fraction. And, of course, 36 and 4 are both divisible by 4. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And then he's so sad about losing all those games, he decides to open up his big bowl of Tootsie Pops. And he's got red, blue, and orange Tootsie Pops to the ratio 5 to 4 to 3. Now, anytime you see a ratio and you're going to work a problem out, you should put a variable with each of those numbers. I like to use x, just because that's what mathematicians like to do. So it's almost like you think of it as 5x to 4x to 3x. And then after that, it's easy to sort of see total means to add. But if you add 5, 4, and 3, that doesn't add up to be 252. But when you take 5x plus 4x plus 3x equals 252, collect like terms, 5, 4, and 3 is 12, so 12x, 252. There's an announcement coming on because it's the end of the day, but I'll just talk over it. Divided by 12, you get 2, 1, so he has 21 blue Tootsie Pops. No, I'm wrong. The announcements are getting to me. The blue is going with the 4. So what you have to do is take 4 times 21 to get 84. If you were doing the red pops, you'd go 5 times 21, 3 pops, 3 times 21. Okay, you guys have a good rest of the day, and if you want to listen to the announcements, you can. You're welcome, Mr. Offit.